Hello everyone, welcome back to the Undercut podcast. We're back with the live podcast, like no more online thing. I'm actually kind of excited, you know. Yeah, it's pretty good.
This is our last one.
This is our last. What? What do you mean it's our last one? What are you on about?
What's the date today?
The April. Caught me off guard. What I say? Yeah, it's April. It's April 1st. So that means that everyone's, and it's a Monday as well, so it couldn't be on a worse day. Everyone's going back to work and everyone's telling them...
No, it's not. It's bank holiday. No one's at work.
Oh, yeah.
Well, my work's open, but...
I don't go to work, so...
Yeah.
I don't know these things. I'm not fully aware.
Bank holiday. Every day is a bank holiday for you.
I'm that kid who's not employed who lives in the basement. But anyway, yeah, we'll...
I'm not gonna say what came to mind.
What was it? What came to mind?
No.
What was it?
No, because it'll need editing out.
Oh, right.
And I don't want extra work.
So we got quite a bit of news. Like, we usually find ourselves in these midweek podcasts that there's not much going on, but that actually is. We've got a few topics that we need to cover. I think the first major one that I would like to talk about really is speaking of the Australian Grand Prix, when Checo Perez was asked if Ferrari would have won regardless of Max's retirement, he said yes. He thinks they would have won.
I think they would have.
Now, here's the thing. I agree, but do you reckon he's only saying that to cover his own back? Because he didn't win.
I think I think there's a bit of selfishness in terms of covering himself.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't think it's wrong. Like, I think, to be fair, the fact that he finished, how long? 50 seconds back?
It's 50 seconds back from Sainz, yeah.
From Sainz, and then him coming out saying that kind of helps him that he finished that far away.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Like, if he finished 15 behind Sainz, he couldn't come out and say that.
No, because, you know, Max would be there.
So, no, but I do think he's right. I think Ferrari still would have won. I think because there's still been a Ferrari 1-2 as well.
Really? I mean, McLaren were pretty close in the end, weren't they? So
yeah,
maybe it would have been a better race.
Maybe it wouldn't have even been a Max podium. Who knows?
Oh, well, that's pushing it.
Yeah, but you got to think, like, Charles was 3 behind Carlos at the end.
They did do that thing on the final lap where Carlos wanted to celebrate with Charles.
No, Carlos. Well, yeah, they did, but Carlos's tyres was going. He did say.
Yeah, what was he? 6 seconds behind the last lap, and then Norris was 2-3 behind Leclerc.
Yeah,
wasn't far off at all. But he was thereabouts.
Max could have been a 4th.
I mean, you know, it's not out of the realms of possibility, really, is it? But I mean, it's something to consider. I just think
we'll never know.
We'll never know, but it's interesting that Perez said it because it's like when you're 50 seconds off first place, you know, you should be really winning that race. I mean, starting 6th, you should be winning that race in a Red Bull. Like, there's no excuse. Max would have, like, you know, we're saying 15, 20 seconds is the maximum Perez should be behind Max. If Max is in that race, he's at the front of the race. So 50 seconds is a bit of madness.
Well, to be fair, if Max was in that race and finished 4th, it would have looked better for Perez.
Oh yeah, no, that I think that's why he said that Ferrari would have won still as well, because I think it looked better for him. But either way, on to the more pressing matters. We've got some very interesting news regarding the new technical regulations going into 2026. They are looking at doing a push to overtake system, which would essentially see, for those of you who don't know, obviously we have ERS, formerly known as KERS, Kinetic Energy Recovery System. We also have the DRS, which is the drag reduction system, which is the back wing opening to allow for less drag down the straights and ultimately more straight line speed. And those are the two things that they currently use for overtake. Obviously, ERS now does have an overtaking mode, but they're thinking about introducing a system purely for overtaking, which from what I've read, at the moment, they're looking to give the drivers more throttle power, which means extra horsepower, means extra engine power to overtake. Is this too much?
Yeah.
It is. It's got to be, right?
It's way too much. I mean, at the moment, we're actually still getting decent overtakes. I mean, if you look at it in terms of, I don't know, was it last year that Red Bull was insane with DRS?
Yeah, it was clapped.
Now imagine if they had this system as well and that Max was trying to come through.
You see, I think...
Do you know what I mean?
I get that, but I think the idea is that if Red Bull are starting first...
Yeah,
and that now they've pushed it so DRS activates on lap 2,
Yeah.
and then if, let's say...
Well, that
Sainz...
doesn't seem to have done any effect. Max can pull over in a second by then.
But what... I think the thinking behind it is if Max... So if Charles or Carlos or whoever's behind on lap 2,
yeah,
they're thinking he's got ERS, he's got DRS, and now he's got push to overtake as well.
Surely
so they're
he's
thinking,
got game.
So it's almost like the FIA are going, please come on, just do something, please.
Well, they need to. They need to.
Yeah, no, it is ridiculous though, isn't it?
It's a bit. It's over the top. I mean, if like cars were that close, if someone was having like a mega weekend, like you got to think like if it was Max at Belgium, for example, well, one, he's already gone, but two, like if he's having a mega weekend, no one's getting anywhere near him.
No.
Lewis at Brazil 2021.
Yeah.
No one's getting anywhere near him.
No.
It's giving them another aid.
Well, I don't think it's giving them an aid if they're in front.
I think it's boring.
Oh yeah, it becomes less impressive, doesn't it, for the driver?
Like at the moment, we're getting good overtakes with DRS, ERS.
I'm happy with the amount of overtakes we have now.
We're actually getting good at overtakes.
Yeah.
Well, the front could be a bit more fun, but the midfield's actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
But I think this just makes overtakes easy.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm looking... So the way I see this is I look back at the way we complained back in... Well, I don't know. In F1 history, from as far as I can remember, the 2000s to the late 2010s, we always complained that there wasn't enough overtaking.
Yeah.
That was the main thing every year. It's like, not enough overtaking. So they did DRS in 2011.
Yeah.
They introduced, obviously, KERS... and they did all that business. They made the DRS better. They've now put it to lap 2, and they've now changed the regulations in this era purely for better overtaking. And we finally gotten to a point where overtaking genuinely is possible. It's still difficult, but it's easier to the point where we can get good racing. And now they want to do this. It just, like, think about it like this. Hamilton 2021, as you said. Obviously, that was in the old red cars as well, so even more difficult to follow. But think about, like, that drive was impressive because of how many cars he had to overtake.
Yeah.
Imagine if he had pushed to overtake. It wouldn't be nowhere near as impressive.
The thing, well, you got to think, we've got that move on Lando Norris that he did in the sprint race. What a move.
Yeah.
What a move. If he's got that push to overtake,
Yeah.
that move doesn't happen.
He's clear.
He's cleared
clear,
it
yeah.
by then.
Yeah.
See, we're not going to get, with this, I don't think, my theory is we're not going to get the moments where you're going to have late on the brakes.
No, yeah.
Dives, like we saw Albon at Saudi.
Yeah. That was a good move by Albon.
Yuki at Australia.
Yeah, Yuki at Australia.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think this will just make it overpowered. You're going to see him overtaking halfway down the straight and moving back over to the racing line.
Yeah.
And there we go. Boring overtaking. We
Yeah.
want late on the brakes, jeopardy, wheel to wheel.
Yeah.
That's
And
what we need.
might I add as well, I think half the fun is when a car doesn't overtake. Because think about...
Well, it depends if they're stuck there for the whole race.
No, but think about it. Like, a car's closing in.
Yeah.
So, Singapore last year, perfect example. Cars are closing in. Both Mercedes on an absolute charge on Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz. They can't get past. They can't get past because... But you know they can, but they can't because they're just that... they're just that little bit not quick enough.
Well, I think they were quick enough. I think what was stopping them was the fact that Sainz was quicker than Norris, but Norris was just hanging in Sainz. Well, Sainz was allowing Norris in DRS.
Exactly. And this is what I mean. That was tense. And that was good.
See, it was tense.
No, it was good.
After 5-6 laps where there was literally no wheel to wheel, no side by side, not even a sniff of a chance, it's a little bit boring, which I can understand why this push button thing could improve that. Like, if we had that in that race, we could have seen a George alongside a Norris at one point. We could have seen a Hamilton alongside George. We could have seen Norris alongside Sainz.
Yeah, but that's why I don't think it works.
Why?
Because you're making that too easy. Half the fun, I think back to Imola 2005. Obviously, Schumacher chasing Alonso. I think back. What was it 2000?
Yeah,
I don't know.
The chase is good. Is good.
The ability to defend Alonso on Hamilton in Hungary. I think about the ability to defend from behind, and it's becoming harder to do so because of all these different things. So what I'm saying is, those last laps in Singapore were fantastic because of how tense they were. Well, yes, no overtakes were done, but Norris would have sprinted past. George would have gone.
There was no overtakes done. You're right, but there wasn't even a chance of an overtake.
There was.
There wasn't. No, there was no point in any of that. Did Norris even get close to like going down Sainz's inside or outside? There was no point of an overtake. There was no chance of an overtake. It was like building up to something. You were building up, and then nothing. It's very anticlimactic.
I like that. The
chase was brilliant. I loved the chase down. I love it all. But at the end of the day, there was nothing. It was dead.
I like that. Being able to...
No, so you want to see, right? Let's put it this way. You want to see just 4 cars going round. You can clearly see that the third and fourth are quicker than 1 and 2, but nothing is happening and they're just staying in a line for the whole race. Because that's effectively what it was. They just stayed in a line and you were just thinking, oh, maybe this lap will get something. Oh, maybe this lap. No, it to a point where you just lose belief, you get bored of it, and you know what's coming. They're just staying in a line.
Yeah, but sometimes yes. Because if it becomes too easy, then what is the point?
Yeah, but
no. Let me put it like this: you're only saying this because it. Right, okay. If that's Max Verstappen in first place,
yeah.
No, not in first place. If that's Max Verstappen charging in second place, you're going, oh my god, he's going to get past, right? But when he doesn't, and he doesn't manage to get past, and whoever's in first manages to keep it through the corners and get on the traction and stay in a straight line and not make any mistakes, and he crosses the line defending from Max Verstappen for his absolute life because he has to, because he needs to win the race for 10 laps straight, and you're telling me that's not exciting and that's not tense. I disagree.
No, I'm not saying the art of defending isn't exciting. Defending's great. Alonso against Hamilton at Hungary, fantastic, because Hamilton was attacking Alonso.
Yeah.
At no point was there an attack on Sainz. At no point was there an attack on Norris. At no point was there an attack on Russell. You've chose a bad race to give me an example, because at no point was there an attack.
No, there was no dive down the inside.
So at that point, if there's no attack, are they actually defending because they know nothing's coming?
Yeah, because
they're not.
What I'm saying is if you have the push to overtake, Norris gets past and he goes down the road because he was quicker through the corners.
Well, that's the thing. Norris had DRS, Norris had ERS, right? To overtake. He didn't even get a sniff. Now, if you got pushed to overtake, in that scenario, like in other tracks, in other scenarios, yeah, it's overpowered, it's ridiculous. But in that scenario, maybe that gives Norris the chance to get alongside and dive one down the inside. Do you know what I mean?
No, I understand that.
There was no defending at Singapore. There was no attacking at Singapore. It was literally a pure build-up and then nothing.
But I wasn't using Singapore as an example as a track as to why it doesn't work. Because Singapore probably is one of those tracks where it would. But what I'm saying is, I like the intensity of that scenario.
Yeah, I like the intensity of that scenario. I just want there to be an ending. I want there to be an outcome.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if push to overtake comes in, that we're not. The likelihood that we get those moments where someone can fend for their life to the line to win a race is not going to happen.
I agree.
So Norris probably gets past Sainz quite convincingly, and because he's quicker through the corners, probably goes off down the road. We don't get that whole Sainz masterclass of him managing to just about keep Norris in the DR. I don't think we get that, and this is why I don't like it, because it's like, it then becomes, okay, if Hamilton's charging through the field
Yeah.
as impressively as he did in Brazil 2021, it becomes less impressive. If we then have someone who's trying to defend for that absolute life, like I mentioned the example of Max Verstappen coming through, and then someone somehow manages to keep him behind, Max is gone. He's through instantly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's like, there's a balance, right?
I agree with that. I think you
Overtaking-
just chose the wrong race.
No, I chose the wrong race in terms of the track, but I was talking about the scenario.
No, but I think you
Same-
chose the wrong scenario in terms of defending.
No, because I like that scenario. I like the idea of there's a chance they could get past, but they don't, and it's this heart pounding. Because the thing is, you got to have those races. You can't just have wheel to wheel action every single race, and because then it becomes stale.
There wasn't a chance. That's what I'm saying. Like you're saying, yeah, you need the chance of overtakes. It came quite quickly apparent after a couple laps there wasn't going to be a chance to overtake for anyone.
I thought it was tense.
It was tense for a couple laps. And then it became apparent.
Maybe this is just personal preference then, because I think that's what F1 needs. Personally, I like watching that.
See, I like watching I just think if you get to a point where you've got 4 drivers, it's apparent that the guy in 4th is quicker than the guy in 3rd, 2nd, and it goes up like that. So 2nd was faster than 1st, 3rd was faster than 2nd, 4th was faster than 3rd.
Yeah.
That's how it was. I agree that it's chased down when they call close together. Most exciting thing in Formula 1. When you've got 4 drivers all converging in.
Yeah.
And you think, monumental battle coming.
Yeah.
Deadest thing in Formula 1 is when not one of them can even think about pulling a move off.
No,
Think about it. That's the deadest thing, where you've got this whole build-up of excitement. It starts fizzing, you're like, oh my god, here we go. Here comes a battle. And then you've got 10 laps straight of, right, they're in a line.
I understand that, but I'm excited by the prospect of the fact that Sainz managed to win despite 3 drivers behind him clearly going quicker. Which is what this is, and the thing is, if push to overtake, and this is really my point, if push to overtake is a thing, Sainz has no chance, and that's what gets me. Because in some scenarios, yeah, push to overtake could be helpful because it could give us an actual race for tracks like maybe, I don't know, Monaco, right, where overtaking never happens. Maybe it gives someone a chance to maybe somehow get alongside down the main straight or into the out of the tunnel.
Yeah.
But in most tracks,
it's not going to work.
It's not going to work. And the thing is, you're.
I'm not arguing that.
No, I know, but this is really my point. Like, you're never going to have that again with Sainz. Like, you're never going to have that again with Sainz if this happens. Maybe we're overthinking it. Maybe it won't be that powerful. But when you've got 3. When you've got 3 things helping someone to overtake, it
is too much. Yeah,
it's too much. It just is. Like, we're never going to see that again.
I agree with your view. I think you just chose the wrong example.
Yeah, probably. Because Singapore's probably the track where it would probably work.
Yeah.
But I'm talking mainly about the scenario.
Yeah.
That scenario of Sainz being able to stay in front and it's tense and it's like, oh, is anyone going to get past? I like that.
Yeah,
But
I like that.
I like that around any track. That's never going to happen ever again.
No.
It's never going to happen ever again. So.
Well, it might.
Well, no, it might, but we're assuming the worst here, right?
Yeah.
Because you've already got ERS and DRS, and it's already easier than it's ever been to overtake.
Yeah.
And then you got this push to fucking overtake thing. Like, come on, man.
Maybe it's one of them that you bring in for Singapore, Monaco, the harder to overtake tracks.
Like a few races.
Yeah.
Like the more less high speed.
Yeah. The more difficult tracks to overtake on.
The street circuits, possibly.
Not Baku.
No, not Baku. Or Vegas.
Or Vegas. But
no. Or Miami.
But yeah, Monaco, Singapore. See, I would have said Hungary, but Hungary actually throws up quite a few overtakes now.
No, Hungary's quite good. That first straight, the main straight's long enough, and the first corner.
And then the second helping of DRS helps as well.
Well, the good thing about Hungary is that the first corner is, like, depending on how much grip you have on your tyres and depending on where you can put the car in any place in the first corner, and like I don't know. I feel like it's a good corner to get a good exit out of, and it
Yeah.
helps you down the second straight if you don't get past in the first corner.
Yeah.
And it's wide, and you're able to throw the car there, and like good racing at Hungary, I think. And then even all the way up the hill as well.
Yeah.
I still think personally, if I was to make one change to Hungary, you know that mini back straight after the second sector S's,
Yeah.
I'd
Want that extended.
I'd loop around after the S's, do a hairpin, loop around, do another hairpin, and have it longer, and have another DRS zone there. I'd extend that straight. It'd add like 10 to 15 seconds on the lap, but I would do it because I think we'd get. Imagine someone overtaking down that straight, and then the last few corners, the other driver can try and get back past because the next DRS straights are right there. I'd do that personally, but yeah, that's a different topic. Improving F1 tracks. Yeah, I mean that's the push to overtake debate. It's
that went on.
it is something that would it's concerning, but either way, our last big piece of news this week is of course Adrian Newey. I mean it's Red Bull just every single time, like.
Yeah, now it's Stroll.
Yeah, so it's come out that apparently Adrian Newey has been offered
An astronomical
amount of money by Lawrence Stroll at the Australian Grand Prix to join Aston Martin. I mean, we were saying this. Were we saying this a few weeks ago? I can't remember if it was on a live stream or if it was on the pod. We were saying that Stroll genuinely does just throw money at the problem.
Yeah.
Like, it's quite funny. I mean, let's ponder this then for a second. So there's rumours that they want Max Verstappen if he leaves Red Bull.
Yeah.
What if they somehow snatch Max and Newey? Does that then become an unstoppable entity?
Not unstoppable. I mean, Max will probably win the championship, but for as long as Strolls are there, they're not going to win a constructor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to be an unstoppable entity, but you got to take them into real consideration. It's no longer a big four.
Big five.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
What?
I
You
don't-
don't like the fact that it'd be a big five, or you don't like the fact that Newey goes to Aston Martin?
I don't like the fact that it'd be a big five. I know we want as much competition at the top as possible,
But
but
you're four or four.
But if it's a big five, then no other team gets a sniff at points unless someone retires.
Yeah.
And it's sort of going that way now. But if Newey and Max go to Aston Martin, it's 100% going to be like that. Because McLaren I don't see slowing down anytime soon. Mercedes are Mercedes. Ferrari are obviously Ferrari. Red Bull aren't just going to congeal because Newey leaves. Like, they've got other people there that are doing bits. And obviously then Aston Martin get Newey and like it's gonna be impossible for any other team to get points.
Yeah.
There. Like it's gonna be
I don't see it happening though.
unless they did with the sprint races, unless they started doing reverse grid. Which could work. Well, we talked about that a few months ago.
We've done that.
We've done that.
No, I don't see Newey going there now.
No, I don't either.
The only place that I'd ever see Newey going would be Ferrari.
Yeah, and he's been offered a contract by Ferrari several times over the last few years.
Only place I'd see him going other than Red Bull. And I don't see him leaving Red Bull unless, obviously, this helmet Christian scenario.
Well, there's been so many rumours, like his contract is
And
like,
watch
attached.
none of it ever happen.
The thing is, I don't think it will.
I don't think any of it's going to happen.
I think the maximum, and you know what's quite funny actually. I think the most likely thing to come out of this is Helmut Marko leaves, which means Max would leave. But that's
Does
even
that mean
saying
Adrian goes?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it does. I don't. Adrian Newey's been there before Max Verstappen, before he's been.
I know, but maybe he has got to a point where he's like, I've done my Red Bull time. Why not try Ferrari? Maybe why not do a Lewis Hamilton? Where I've been at Mercedes for so many years.
Well, this is the thing.
Try something different.
We're going into Adrian Newey's personal preference here, aren't we? Like, if you're smart about it,
you do go somewhere different. I think it's just a bit of a fun, a bit of a change.
I mean, he's not getting any younger, is he? He might as well just take the Stroll paycheck.
Well, yeah.
And then if he loses, he's got. If he
loses, he's one of the highest paid
yeah.
people in F1.
And also, it's not like no one's going to dispute that he's the GOAT anyway.
No.
Because he's still the GOAT, even if Aston Martin flop.
Yeah.
He's still the GOAT. And then, but if he wins, I mean, it's a win-win, isn't it? So, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess so. You might as well
chance your arm at a new team.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, but I don't think Adrian Newey will leave. And this whole Red Bull situation is like, I'm bored of it. I'm bored of it as well. Like, Newey's not going to leave. Marco might leave because there's a.
Yeah, but that's quieting down as well.
Yeah, but Marco's a bitch. He's gonna. I think something's gonna happen.
Everything's quieting down around Red Bull.
Yeah.
It's just this Newey news.
Yeah. No, but this has happened. Like they Lawrence Stroll and Newey met up at the Australian Grand Prix to have a chat, and he offered him an astronomical amount of money, which, you know, I mean, he's high demand, right? Aston Martin want to win, and Newey might want a new challenge. I don't know. Yeah, but there's ways of getting around it, though, isn't there?
There's always ways of getting around it.
Because they say that Newey isn't on the. Newey technically isn't contracted to the Red Bull racing project. He's contracted to. I think he's contracted to. I heard something about this. Apparently, he's contracted to Red Bull's boat project, and he gets paid for working on. Like, I think like 90% of his. It's something ridiculous. Like 80 or 90% of his wages come from this other Red Bull thing, but he only works on that like 10% of the time, and then he works on the Red Bull car 90% of the time, which is his main job, but only 10% or like 10-15% of his wages come from the Red Bull racing team, which I think is crazy. The cost cap and getting around it, it's like, it's stingy, man. The cost of having Adrian Newey, though.
With Adrian Newey going to Aston Martin, it does kind of make sense, because didn't he design an Aston Martin car?
Ooh, he designed that race, didn't he? Did he?
Yeah.
And also, we've got to remember, Aston Martin was a title sponsor for Red Bull before they came into the sport as well. So there is that. He has got
links. He's got links to Aston Martin.
Oh, potentially.
It's
a good shout. It's a good throw in there. Yeah. Yeah, potentially. But yeah, no, I don't think Newey's going. No.
So yeah.
That's pretty much it. I mean, okay. Well, I mean, while we're here, Japanese Grand Prix predictions.
Japan.
Yep. What are you saying?
What do you want?
Pole.
Max.
Top 3.
Max. Sergio Lando.
Best weekend.
Lando.
Worst weekend.
Russell.
Russell keeps catching strays from you, man. Fuck hell.
No, I think Mercedes in general have another shocker.
Yeah. I'm going to go Max, Checo, Lando. Max.
I like how Ferrari have just taken a 1-2 and we've just discounted them from the podium.
No, I think they'll be there. I think they'll be within a shot.
We've both just said no podium after they've just got a 1-2.
Actually, Japan is...
The only reason I've gone with McLaren is because I saw their high speed at Saudi in that first sector.
Yeah, that's why I went. And they went well last year around Japan as well.
And they went around last... Yeah, that's what I'm going off.
It was a 2-3, wasn't it, for McLaren last year in Japan?
The only thing that I have seen as well, Ferrari are planning to bring upgrades.
Yeah, Red Bull are going to be gone though, aren't they?
And Red Bull have got them like zero pod.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Max pole, Max Checo, Lando podium, and then.
What if the zero pods destroy the car?
Well, I mean, we can only hope.
Like, what if they're actually slower?
listen, I hope the car just becomes an absolute tic-tac and we get a good race.
Max Verstappen finishes 19th.
Oh, mate, please, for the love of God.
I say 19th because it'll still be Checo.
Yeah, of course. But either way, yeah. Thank you very much for watching the pod. It's we'll be live for the Japanese Grand Prix this upcoming weekend, Saturday and Sunday, of course. Early start times, just as the Australian Grand Prix was, but not as early.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God for that. But anyway, we'll see you in a bit.